1, 2, 3. There's actually 4 this time, isn't there? Here we go. That'll be 3. Good enough. Welcome to the Not Televised Revolution, the only show on the internet that really wants people to actually argue with us.
The only show on the internet that can't decide whether it's counting to 3 or 4.
I love you.
The only show on the internet that will love you long time.
We've had phrase that were probably helpful for our personal development.
We should just leave it on that one, bro. That was perfect.
So today I'm going to do a show inspired by the Young Turks did a Ask Me Anything segment. What I want to do is my own version of it as it relates to our show. So that's it. Ready to go? Anything you want to say for fun? Because we like fun.
No, I'm just ready for the fun.
All right.
I was so excited I almost knocked myself out on my way into the office.
It sounded like you just did that a minute ago.
Oh man, I'm still a little dizzy.
All right, so the first question is, as it relates to Discourse, so I translated all the questions. So here we go. Would you take phone calls from trolls?
Yeah, all day. I mean, like, I personally, I like that game. It's fun. It's a lot of fun to me, and I because I see that it's a game.
That's for sure.
Yeah, it's fun to me. I'm an open troll. I'll do that. I love it.
You gotta meet them up. Well, meet them where they're at, actually.
So whatever's clever, I'll take I'll respond to trolls. I feed them. I love them.
Okay, I want to see if I can, back and forth with you on this question quick, because it's an important one. I got a Trump supporter that he just really disagrees with me, but we're like really close friends. He called me the other night, and he was like, "You're all about more government, aren't you?" And then it was after a video that I titled Freestyle Anarchy, and I was exhausted. It's what? I just...
yeah. Like, I get the irony. I get the irony. Yeah. That's kind of beautiful, actually. That's sort of a...
Well, and I think I have a new Daleism for sure. If you don't talk to other people openly about you're doing what you're being told, and fuck you, I won't do what you tell me.
Not only that, if you're not open and honest about what you are, and then how you differentiate from the caricature of whatever it is that you're being stuck with. Because I think everybody, regardless of what side of the rope you're on, has been stuck with the caricature of both sides of the rope. If you've ever had an actual political discussion,
an exaggerated version.
And so if you're not really open about what it is, this is actually what it is, then without identifying yourself, you become a nameless mass.
Yeah,
you become a part of
social creatures. We have to be in a tribe. That's how we survived for millennia, right?
Well, yeah, of course, but I don't know. Personally, I believe that we're we sort of have to move a little bit beyond that, where it's
we are, and it's driving us mad.
It is, and I think we're going to have to get used to the idea of personal identity, and I'm not really sure that humans are really have that. Like, they're not really used to the idea of personal identity and personal agency. It's maybe it's just a generational thing, but when I look around me,
at the end of the day, you actually have to love the trolls. There's such a positive trolling. Stop them in their tracks. I wish I knew the art of it, but look at it. There's such a thing called positive trolling. Shall we?
Well, I don't know. I don't know if what I do is considered positive, but
I would.
I like to stir up the pot every once in a while. I got pages that I go to just to mess with those people. It's fun. It's fun. It's a game.
I really actually do think that being a keyboard warrior is more fruitful than we're told it's not fruitful. That makes me really suspicious that it's very fruitful. That it's actually an important thing to do, to talk to each other. Like, you keyboard warrior pussy. What do you mean, keyboard warrior pussy? I talk to 1,000 people a day. What do you talk? What do you?
Well, look at Egypt. I mean, it's an open fact that social media contributed to the fall of the dictatorship in Egypt. That happened. There's so many examples of people talking to each other, figuring out where they have common ground, and making things happen. It's just that's how it's supposed to happen in a democracy.
My dude, we're still on question 1. Let's keep going.
All right, let's go to question 2.
Why do we ignore? Yeah.
Anyway.
Social scientists say that facts don't change wait, what? Facts don't change minds, stories do. Did you want to touch on Yang? Okay, I didn't think so. I didn't mean to speak for you. Social scientists say that facts don't change minds, stories do.
There's some wisdom to that. I mean,
go first.
What's the question, though?
Facts don't change minds, stories do. So,
and that's all?
Yeah, I mean, I guess, that's all I could get. Let's see. How do we change minds? For facts, stories, better for you when you're going around changing minds. Facts or stories? I forgot to translate that one.
Okay. So, the facts actually make a story. And you can bend it in any way, just like pretty much anything. It can be bent, and in fact, it's kind of inherent. You're a subjective thing, so you have your perspective. That's just the way it is. So, yes, a good, pretty sounding format for a story does tend to do better with massive groups of people. However, like, the facts can be sung in a way that sounds pretty as well. And just because I'm only practicing it, like this particular songbird is just refining his way of stating the facts that sound in a way to other people's ears pleasing. But it's an art, and And
yeah, man, you should hear my episode with Derek. He is fire. You're gonna love him. Can't wait for you guys to meet each other.
yeah, we've met. I know we've talked online a few times.
Call him one day. He's self-employed too.
Oh, good stuff. Good stuff.
Friday or Saturday night, because he bartends too.
Okay.
Yeah. He'll answer your call. I've made him aware of you.
Yeah. I'll probably do that.
You should.
Anyway. So what do you think, man? How do you feel about that?
This question. Facts don't change minds, stories do. Well, okay. I think you need both, obviously, but you need to meet a person where they're at. All right, and if you listen to their story, that's where you can start working on maybe changing their mind with facts. Gotta meet them where they're at and be gentle and loving. And stories make you relatable. You gotta treat them as a human and make them see you as a human. Who are TNT's biggest stoners? God damn it. See, we gotta do it like this. Among our friends, especially on the not televised revolution, are the biggest stoners. Even in the group.
Jeez. Like within like the people that I know, probably my lady. Like she's probably the biggest stoner I know.
Involved in the group, I would say on the show, like me and you, and I guess this question is for me, really. Because I'm the only one administering the show right now, but I appreciate all you guys for answering my phone calls. I got a few personalities on already, and my man Bob Bobson has agreed to do it once a week with me, and I fucking love you, my dude. I don't want to cry in front of everyone. I would say if I could afford it, I would probably smoke even more weed than Bob does, but I think he smokes more than I do.
I don't know. Like, I was born and bred in Colorado.
Oh, damn.
like, I was there for the whole, the whole legalization thing from the beginning. Like,
wow.
Frickin' anybody from Colorado would know when Ken Gorman I was actually throwing ounces of weed while it was still totally illegal, right, out of a dumpster truck, because I went to jail for that, but Ken took the whole fucking hit for that and went to prison for 5 years. But there was half a ton of weed in that dumpster truck. That was not a joke. when we started.
That's amazing. And I want to move on, but before we do, I want to say we got one of my best friends in California, and I'll introduce him, when I do it. But yeah, that's a close call, really. California or Colorado. We got a few. We got a lot of stoners. And
yeah.
We really do. If you look on if you look on our Facebook page, it's actually a pretty good time if, as long as people keep engaging. And this is going to be fun. Is anyone on the team single? Are you single, Bob?
No, not I.
Oh, I forgot to do the pictures. Okay.
What? What's up with these pictures, man? Take with the pics.
There's spoiler alert. Facts don't change people's minds. Okay, so let's stick around. So, if you asked me this question, how did you change your mind 2 years ago? I would have given you a different answer. Drowning the other person with facts, I assumed, was the best way to prove that global warming is real. The war on drugs has failed. The current business strategies. Yeah, this is all simple to guys like us. Next question. Sorry. They want to be on your side, but you're like, God damn it, I'm right. Next question. You know?
It just reminds me of Full Metal Jacket. God damn it, son! That's the dumbest question I've ever heard. Next. Sorry.
Are you ready to make your pick for president?
No, I'm not ready to make my pick, as in like my prediction as to who is going to be president. There's still too many factors in the air at this point. Last time I made a prediction, I did it 6 months in advance.
You were pretty good.
But right now we're a year and a half out. No, there's no way. There's no way. The way things are going right now, if things continue to go, the only place that Trump has that's strong is the fact that the market's been strong. But these tariffs have really taken these markets down over this last couple of days. So if this trend continues over the next 6 months, there is almost no chance that he'll win. But right now, he's still a threat.
All right. I'm trying to hold my stomach down. If you could only see what's on my screen, and I'm glad you. But I thought I would have facts.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't.
Okay, what do you think about Bernie Biden? Being the top two and watching that parade, basically a repeat of 2016.
I guess I'm still being hopeful that they're just trying to gasp at it, and that I'm hoping that they're not going to do any of the really truly off the wall, awful shady shit that they did in 2016. But yeah, I see it. It looks exactly the same. Actually, it doesn't look the same, because Bernie that time had almost no name recognition, and Clinton really did. He came out as a juggernaut. Biden has a lot of name recognition, but nobody really knows. Nobody, and I mean, knows all that much about him, except that he has sticky hands. I don't know. It seems shady to me, but the only thing that I'm going to say about Biden is the sticky hands. Be that as it may, I don't know what his motivations are, and that it's possible that he's a personable guy and he's just sort of that way. I've met people like that.
All right.
But the one thing that he doesn't have an excuse for, and I'd really like to bring this up, is, he brags about writing the Patriot Act.
Oh,
he brags about it. Not only did he write the Patriot Act, not only did he write or have a hand in writing the 1994 crime bill, but he brags about it. These are big achievements to him. These are things he likes that he did. If I did that, I wouldn't be able to look at myself in the mirror. He actually goes on television and says, "Oh yeah, I love this. Look at what I did. That's my bill, the Patriot Act. I did that." Your Fourth Amendment rights? that was me. I took him. Like,
all right. You want to move on to the next question?
sure.
Okay, I'm gonna find it now. I love it how we skipped over Yang so fast. That's funny as hell. What do you like to watch stoned?
No. Wow. I watch. Well, and to be honest, I don't really watch a whole lot of television unless it is news, and even that, I don't really watch a whole lot of spoken word stuff anymore.
Stoner.
Like I usually like I'm more of a video gamer, so if I'm gonna zone out on something, it's gonna be something like that or a book, generally.
Right. Get creative, try to learn something, try to be productive. What I like to watch is, man, I like to watch anything but politics. I think that would be my favorite. Going on. It's so, like, and I put a lot of effort into, like, really being able to understand what's going on, that, dang. I like cartoons. And I like Star Wars.
I like cartoons. I got a lot of cartoons, actually.
I don't have an excuse.
Well, hey man, there was a time in which I didn't have an excuse. I just, just did it.
Let's take the next one. And of course, anything at a movie theater, right? Especially with your family or something like that. So.
Oh man, I hate movie theaters with a passion. Okay. Yeah, I do. I hate them with the passion. They're like, I don't know, like I can't smoke in them, and I can't leave, and I got a nice big screen in my house, and like I can torrent anything.
Well, as long as my friend that's with me at the movie theater is also a stoner, it becomes a non-problem. Boom, flat. All right, you're gonna love this question.
All right.
Because you teased it out of me, even though I promised no spoilers. What do you do to prepare for the show?
I take a bong rip or two and drink another gallon of coffee. And then, I call him. I call Dale. And we talk about what we're going to talk about a little bit, and then I take another bong rip or two, and then I drink another gallon of coffee, and we're good to go.
It's like staring directly at my screen, like, I'm ready, Bob. I'm ready. I'm ready, Bob. I'm ready. Like, oh, don't do that to the director of the show. Fucking it.
I didn't mean to. Damn, I promised the 5-year-old that I'd start reading her H.P. Lovecraft. What are you going to tell me to do? Not read Call of Cthulhu to the 5-year-old?
She is far more important than me.
No. And it's H.P. Lovecraft. I mean, she asked me for it.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Actually, I've got a couple of Cthulhu dolls around, and she's like, "Why do you like that? What is that about?" Like, well,
right.
Cthulhu's there to remind you that everything's meaningless, and
there's always stuff inside. You gotta rush to be a good dad, so that you can actually get ready to hang out with me. And I appreciate you for that, my dude. It's a real privilege to actually hang out with you.
I've been doing it for a long time, man. It's really not a big deal. It's, it's just what you do. There's I don't know how to explain it. It's just part of the pattern.
All right, I'm gonna throw in something here because one of the preparations that I do with all of my kids is hang and have fun. Sometimes it may take like, I don't know, 10, 12 hours with some people just to be like, making practice runs. Basically, it's like being in a band. If you've ever been to any band practice, the first thing they do at every band practice is have fun. Probably smoke some weed, probably drink some beers before they ever touch their instruments. Right? So that's what I want to do here. And
yeah,
that's what I love about my personality series, where it's going to be just completely freestyle. All right. Okay. Next question. Yeah, no, preparing for the show is, we also actually do our homework too. And you want to go from that angle? Because like I'm supposed to actually have all these pictures here for each question. But the conversation is so intense that I'm like not even
okay.
Prepare for the.
I guess what I do as far as to like gain information, I've got. I know that this is probably gonna sound it is probably gonna be kind of reductive, but I've got like 8 different news apps on my phone. And so usually when something happens that's recent, I get like 4 different viewpoints almost immediately, and then I get a few different viewpoints like within a few days, and then like if I'm really interested in something, I'll know almost immediately what I'm going to look for. And so I can, at that point, look for other sources than the ones that I have. The apps that I have are CNN, BBC, RT, Al Jazeera, Telesur, geez, I know I'm missing one.
You can.
I'm missing one.
You can back later. My favorite sources, and I gotta be honest, are Jimmy Dore, and even though I don't like the guy Lee Camp, Ventura, Jesse Ventura, pretty much anything on RT. I agree with you with that. I like what you said about the news over there about us is more accurate. Yeah, and that kind of applies both ways.
That does tend to apply both ways. That's why some stories are really complex, and I just don't really trust a whole lot of anything that anybody says.
Do we read articles? Because the last thing I had to say on this question is that what I do is when I find a guest on my favorite people's show, Jimmy Dore, Lee Camp, even though I don't like him, Tim Black will talk about someone, Chris Hedges,
I fucking love Chris Hedges. I wish Cornel West would do a show.
Right? What is this? Let's go to the next one. I keep saying more than one question. Do you ever have political fights with your family and friends? See, I told you they were throwing softballs, but...
Yes, it happens.
I do that with my mom, but, we love the crap out of each other, and, I do it pretty drunk, too, actually, and I know she doesn't like that, but she's like, Dale! But it's no big deal. It's like... Sometimes I think we grind a little bit. Like we refine each other's positions because we love each other that much, you know.
I like the word galvanize.
Galvanize, that's perfect. Steel on steel. That's what I use with my roommate. We landed on abortion, and that just the idea. I was talking to my mom about abortion. She didn't even have to argue with me because I was like stopped in my tracks. My grandparents wanted me aborted. They're like, "Oh, damn." Okay, Mom. We're done with that argument. Glad we have.
All right, you win.
You got story you want to
my sister, like, we were like semi-estranged for a long period of time, and like she really didn't have any idea who I was or anything, so like we had some very cursory discussions, and then one night when we got drunk together, she said something like she said something about it, and I don't really remember what it was. And it was about guns. But you're just one of those lefties that want to take my guns. And I'm like, no, sis. Here, hold on. Hear me out. I'm one of these crazy people. I do one of these crazy things. I call it thinking for myself. Personally, I believe that we should have gun rights and abortion rights. I think that we should gain all of the rights, as many rights as we possibly can. It's kind of our responsibility to get as many as possible and never give them up. And, like, no, I don't, I'm anti-Brady Bill. Like, let's fucking arm everybody. I don't care. The point is that I'm a voluntarist for sure. Like, there's no entity that can tell me what to do. No one.
Right. Actually, okay, this is worth spending a few more minutes on, because I think this is what people want deep down inside. They just don't know how to express it. And that is, like, voluntarism. That was a good word. That triggered me, because it's like democratic anarchy. I mean, that's what we're going to have no matter what, in some ways. I don't know if I just tripped over myself, but it doesn't matter. Like, if for example, like, after a natural disaster, and the government can't reach the community takes care of itself. And,
it has to.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying, like, describing it as basic human nature. And I think we're trying to strive towards it, but we have to somehow tear the system down. But there's no way we don't have a plan, and it's complicated.
A lot of us want to, but there's a lot of people, left and right, and they're not. And here's the strange part: not all of them are gaining from it. These are people of modest means. Like, we're not talking about super rich people that still want it there, that still really believe that maybe they personally don't need to be told what to do, but you might. And because of that, because we're still afraid of each other more than anything else, we're we are willing to give away parts of our own rights because I might be afraid of you, for example, and that's a good portion of people. I would say in the 60, if not 80% of people are afraid of their neighbors, and for that reason, they're willing to give away their rights to protect them from their next door neighbor.
All right,
that's the problem.
I'm falling for that trick. Next question. How do you plan to make the show grow? Wait, hang on, wait. There's another one. Do you think that sometimes people talk over each other on our show?
Yes. I have a problem with that.
Let's talk.
I apologize. I will openly apologize.
Oh, shit. Okay, so I gotta answer this one first because I think everyone feels the same way. Like, I get people screwed up. Like, I'm like, as the host of the Not Televised Revolution, I'm like the only exhaust valve that some of these amazing people have sometimes. I'm dealing with like 4,000 degree flamethrower. It's, oh man, I gotta get on camera for this. What the heck? Oh man.
You're on camera. I see you.
No, not on the recording. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Repeat the question. Don't.
Yeah. Can we, or how about we move on?
No.
No. Next question. We're not. Okay.
Sometimes people talk over each other on your show. I think that I'm actually going to agree with Anna Kasparian and say I've been meaning to touch on what their answers were all along, but maybe I can do a wrap up at the end or something. But I agree with her on this one that like the person that cares the most kind of gets to talk first. Like I would say, like when you're in a restaurant and someone is like on an urgent mission and you're just like going to get a drink or something, you have to give up the right of way. You know, if someone is like trying to give you facts and it depends on the level of importance. Sometimes you try to pull away a little bit.
Yeah. Okay. I guess I can see that.
And we're friends, and with one of my favorite guests. I've only done one show with him so far. Oh, so I can say his name. My man Derek Berger. I want to call him the come on, Ben Shapiro of the left, for real. He can talk really fast and like put it up. It's amazing.
Hey, I got a question. Just because you brought the guy up, did you see when he flipped out in the BBC?
Yeah, it was hilarious.
Oh my god, I'm laughing hard.
TYT. Alright. Because they like.
Oh.
So, how do we plan to make the show grow? I think you know the answer to that, but this is probably a question for me. As the author of the show, I have access to amazing people that have access to more amazing people, and my man Bob Bobson is signed on to do once a week, and we're just doing it out of the love of our hearts, and I believe. Bob, correct me if I'm wrong. All we need is 1,000 subscribers, and then we start getting a little scratch for this.
I honestly don't know. That's the furthest thing from my mind. If there's any scratch, then that's to be completely frank. I just sort of like. I
Need a cigarette.
And I know, actually, I need to take a rip real quick. I know that I'm not the only one. That's really what it is for me. Like, more than anything else, I know that I'm not the only one. And so, like, I'm just looking for, you know, other people to interact with. Maybe, you know, create my own little freaking echo chamber and my own little thought bubble or filter bubble in which that I can, you know, protect my nice little anarchistic ideology or something. I'm kidding. I know that I'm not the only one.
Yeah, it's kind of like collecting us together like Bernie Sanders did is, I think, what our real goal is that we have in common. You know, the more people, the better.
And I'm really, yeah, I mean, in my immediate personal life, I'm the only one, you know? At least, like, so it's more than anything else. I'm just looking, you know, I like, you know, a couple of people would be great. You know, it'd be great to have, like, you know, 10 people that
the last time I checked.
I'm down.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. I'm all about it. Like, so that's my opinion.
Oh, I even had okay, I want to go on to the next question, but I wanted to put that picture, whatever. Picture before question. It's too much fun talking to you. It's hard being a producer and host, all that stuff at the same time. Let's see. How do you shine as a podcaster? How do you shine as an internet personality?
I don't know. Yeah, that's actually kind of a good question. I haven't even considered that. Open-mindedness. Usually, like, if I have made a decision on one side, or even though I know, even though I've made my decision, generally speaking, I've heard the other side. Not just the caricature that most people on the opposite side have heard, but actually what the person is saying. And I think that's my strength.
I don't know. I'm like the Jar Binks of podcasting, for real. Like, I just stumble onto amazing people, and they happen to be willing to share their time with me. But I can always remember the gist, the important part, like, of the facts that I've learned. You know, we talked about facts versus stories. You know, I remember them both, but I do actually do a better job of remembering stories and listening to people's stories, like, genuinely. Like you said, I have a lot of practice with it, and, you know, just treat my guests like people, even if, you know, they're my guest in the public park and they're my guest on my microphone. They're still my guest that I respect. And I think a lot of practice and enthusiasm, and I just want to have fun.
Isn't it strange? And I just want to point to, like, doesn't it feel kind of odd to you that, you know, you have to practice political discourse without automatically being in an aggressive posture in it?
No,
Isn't that like
it's not how I roll at all. I go in cycles. If you look at my record of when I produce shows, season 1 was 14 episodes over the course of the year. Season 2 was improved technology, but only like 5 or 6 episodes. But season 3, which we're on, is already on like episode 12 or so.
Well, yeah, that wasn't what I was saying. I was like saying, just a odd little side note. Doesn't it seem odd that the practice of having political discourse without it dissolving to a screaming match?
It takes practice for sure. Yeah,
isn't it odd that actually takes practice?
Yeah,
isn't that strange? Isn't that a weird thing? Am I the only one that's creeped out by that?
To avoid that kind of conversation, you're doing what you're told, and Zach De La Roque already told us how to respond to that.
Yeah, I know. It's just...
I mean, we should be talking to each other. That's what we're doing. Oh, okay. You're gonna love this, my dude. The home repair project.
Sorry, I didn't hear that. Repeat it, please.
What is your favorite home repair project?
Oh,
all of them?
Yeah.
I gotta get
I'm a Sparky by trade. I got like I actually, my microphone is in my shop. Geez. Anything, like all of it. Weren't you interviewing me while I was laying brick for my barbecue forge thing that I'm making?
We were talking about what we might do. We were just jamming.
Okay. That's right. Either way, yeah, I like doing things. I like making things. I recommend everybody make things or do things. It's fun. It's cleansing.
Absolutely. Like, no, it's really, our society kind of strips us of any idea of that we mean anything.
It does. It
And so doing projects makes you feel really good. My favorite project is actually technically destroying something, actually. Yeah, instead of repairing that 1980s tiny little keyboard or kid's toy, I go ahead and decide to destroy it in advance by adding extra wires and knobs and switches to it. It's called secret ending. They also call it Aliatron. Do you remember how to spell that? I think it's AEO, Aliatron.
No.
There's no way I could have prepared all the pictures I need. Alright. Alright. I thought that was going to take longer. I'm glad it didn't. I'm working on music, cleaning my room and setting it up to be ready to do my stuff, like my posters behind me. Do you want to talk about marijuana? They did. Do we have any pets that are like our the mascot pets? I don't.
I got 3 cats. Luna, Anu, and Bale. Bale is the big, chunky old dude, grumpy old man of the house. Luna is kind of a... She's the sweetest cat I've ever met, but she suffers from resting bitch face. she'll be looking at you, and she just has this. It looks like she's mean mugging you, but she's. And so usually everybody thinks that, you know, she's a really angry, mean cat, but she's not. She just has resting bitch face. She's the sweetest cat I've ever met. And Anu's insane. He's just out of his mind. He's young, little dude, and yeah, I guess those are my mascots. I like cats.
I guess for me, my mascot is I don't know, this poster that I kind of just added. I added the words onto it. It's pretty cheap. I mean, I took here. No, I don't feel like it. It's a donkey and an elephant, and it says, "It's just one big club, and you ain't in it." And like showing it off. Like, I think that's my pet.
George Carlin's my spirit animal.
Right. Well, I think it's my pet because it reminds me every day that I gotta do something about this situation. You know, I gotta take care of it. You know, and it's not food and water, but
it's a big thing, and it might result in that. It's
some of our community might have to just lend a hand. And, yeah. Ooh, next question. I'm not afraid of that kind of talk. All right. Queer and transgender voices on the show. That's kind of a dumb question. Like, yes. Do you want to skip that?
Yeah, absolutely. My Aunt Joanne was once my Uncle Joe.
Oh, my stepbrother couldn't handle that shit. He would lose his mind. I'm glad you stayed on it.
But and that was way back in the day when that wasn't. It was brand new. I mean, that was like he made his transition in the early 90s before I turned 21 or before I turned 18. Yeah, so it's always been kind of, yeah, of course, the people are people.
So yeah, absolutely, I would love to have queer or trans voices on the show. I would love to interview any person that is not talked about a lot. That's why I was like, duh, do we even have to talk about this? Like, isn't that the point of the whole show? Yeah, our voices are... I think our answer to that question is probably better than TYT's, because it's like, actually, that really kind of lights me on fire. Like, you know, I'll have to go on the streets and interview people and buy them a slice of pizza and shit. You know? Yeah,
I don't understand, and I freely and openly admit that. But I mean, that doesn't matter. It's not about me. I don't need to understand it. But I mean, I very much I'm a curious individual. I have questions. I will ask. I mean, I just yeah.
Yeah.
I don't understand, and I mean, but that's not a bad thing to me at all.
Yeah, good job. That just means you're a human being. I support that. All right. Okay. No, I didn't mean to sound nonchalant about that, but yeah, that's how I feel too, and I think that's how everybody like. Oh yeah, I did want to pause on this for a second. I think one of the differences between a liberal and a progressive or a revolutionary of any kind is that a liberal doesn't have to feel it deep down inside. I think to me that's what is the difference. At least when it comes to being a neoliberal, blah blah blah, $20 words. You owe me $100 for that last sentence. But I think that real leftists, they just come from a place of love, and that's what matters. And it sounds really dumb, but it's actually really practical if you are smart enough. Chew on that.
Yeah, I do. I feel it's part of the animal. Like, for a long time, I like part of the animal in the, like the animal of a group of people. You know, I personally feel that, you know, hard, regardless of what kind of system you have in place, people that are in varying positions around it have to exist for it to be healthy. Conflict on one level is health from a different level. Like if you look at your own body, you know, you're fighting an internal war constantly, where you've got bacteria that are trying to keep themselves alive from your body that is, you know, attempting to fight it off, to keep that in balance. But those bacterium also cause other good effects, like, you know, probiotics in your stomach. That kind of stuff is you know, you actually need that. And that balance that exists within you, that conflict that exists, is a lot like, I think, any group of people. That conflict, that far left and far right and so on and so forth, I think that there's a less need for those terms, and I think that they are becoming increasingly meaningless. However, I think that each position is kind of a necessary piece to guide the ship, even the ones that I don't like.
We are in this together. Yeah. It's up to us. It's up to us. Okay, man, you're gonna love this one too. Recent books.
Read. I actually just read a book of poetry by my friend Robin Wyatt Dunn. Like it was Black Heart Uprising. It was. I actually just got it in the mail yesterday, and I need to tell him that I did, but I got almost all the way through it. I read the Sword of Truth series recently. I've been rereading a lot of philosophy. I've been Beyond Good and Evil by I think I misstated the name of the book, but Beyond Good and Evil by Nietzsche, and for him, I just reread Discipline and Punish by Michael Foucault, and yeah, that's been about the last 2 months.
For me, recent books really, when you reminded me of, I'm embarrassed that I forgot about him. The guy you encouraged me to come on. I look stupid, right? I hate it.
I think I just butchered Nietzsche, the name of Nietzsche's most famous work. So don't worry about it, bro. And I just read it.
Because I got high. There is this show, the Duncan Trussell Family Hour, that really inspires me. And Higher Side Chats. I've really been learning through podcasts. And my job is pretty mundane, and I can have one earbud in. So
I think you froze there, brother.
Okay. for me, recent books is recent technology. I can listen to podcasts while I work my job.
Yeah.
Now I know I'm frozen. You got me?
Yeah.
I think that was actually kind of it. Oh yeah. Are you there, my dude? Are you running away just in time? Did you see the last question? You've been lying to me this whole time. Yeah, lying to me the whole time. Alright, I'm going to stop the recording. Thank you for watching the Not Televised Revolution. I think this is, this is the part where I need to add music. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye. How long was it?
Okay, man, are you ready to go? I'm ready to go now.
Mic check. Mic check.